Hey, I'm Anya, realtor with Bosley Real Estate and host of Who's in My House, the Toronto Real Estate podcast with honest conversations and expert perspectives. Let's see who's in my house. Today we have my friend and colleague, Megan, back for well-requested part 2.
Yes.
Mostly by Megan.
Well requested by me, mostly for fun facts.
Mostly for fun facts and for talking about frustrating situations that we run into in our day-to-day.
Yeah.
What have you been seeing? What's been going on? Has anything been ruffling your feathers these days?
I mean, I had the pleasure of taking some time off in October, which was really nice.
For what purpose, Megan?
I got married. Which was really cool. And we're going to talk about something that my husband gave me.
We are. Yes. Oh, yes. The booklet,
But
of course.
Later. The fun little booklet.
Just, you have to wait till the end for the booklet.
Wait till the end for the booklet.
Was that your wedding present?
Yeah, this was my wedding present. Can you imagine? What was the question? ADHD. What are my grievances and what's going on?
What's been going on? What's been ruffling your feathers these days? Because as we know, as I've talked about many times, the navigating the market these days is quite the challenge, and it is a lot of people management and different people from all sorts of different sides.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I said, luckily I was able to take some time off in October, and the reason I bring that up is because I literally had like such an annoying, complicated deal that happened right before I left. And in stark contrast, I had an amazing deal that happened right before I left. And it was just such an example of how the other side can sometimes really dictate how well or how bad things can go. And they were in quite stark contrast to each other, and kind of ties into what we talked about the last time I was here, which was disclosure.
Yeah.
And how I don't know if you find this in your experiences, but that disclosure is not as regular as I think it should be by agents.
No. No.
I feel like, I don't know why, because I feel like the whole thing is like, that's our job, is to find out all the facts, disclose, and then have the other side make a decision based on those disclosures.
I think that there are a lot of things about our job that we are supposed to do and are regulated to do that are not done.
We are literally legally required to do that are not done. And for me, disclosure is like top of that list. And I had actually 3 disclosure transactions this year that really heavily hinged on disclosures. 1, I was on the listing side, 2 on the buy side. And on the listing side, there had been a leak in the house. My client had done some work to the house to remedy the leak. It was caused by an ice dam. And we completely disclosed that. Like, we had an offer come in, we disclosed it to the agent. We had all of the paperwork to show that the ice dam had been fixed and the leak had been corrected and all the damage had been remediated. We sent them all of the paperwork. They had no issue with it. They reviewed it. They were totally satisfied. They firmed up. Everything was great. And my client was hesitant. Like, she was like, do we have to tell them? Like, what if this is a bad thing? And I was like, yes, we have to tell them. We have to tell them. But it was great. It was totally great. We sold that property in like 6 days, not even.
Didn't you sell it like by the weekend?
Yeah, we got an offer like 3 days after we were listed, and then the conditional period was 5 days and we were done.
But one thing that we are running into a lot these days are client expectations and managing expectations. And I think that was also a big thing that you needed to deal with on that transaction was when there are maybe outside parties with a certain transaction who are not your client but have some sort of an influence, emotional stake.
Yeah.
And that happened to me a couple weeks ago where my clients offered on a house, and it was an elderly couple that was living there. The house was listed like 2 days prior. So 2 days on the market, they get 2 offers, mine and another one. This was like gorgeous house.
Was it listed low? Like, what's going on with this house? It was just beautiful.
It was a great house. It was a great price. And
those are the only things that's selling.
And sometimes it's luck of the draw, right? Like the right buyer comes in, and the agent even told me that they only had 2 showings and it was the 2 offers. So anyways, they get 2 offers with 2 days on the market, and my clients come up like 5 or 10 grand over asking, something like that. And it sounds like we're going to get it. Like, we're going to get it done.
Right.
And he calls me. Then was it the next? Anyways, he calls me at the time they were supposed to make a decision between the 2 offers, and it sounded like we were going to get it.
Right.
And goes, hey, so turn of events, the sellers have decided to hold back offers for a week.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, and I was like, pardon me?
Yeah,
what do you mean? And he goes, honestly, I have no idea. It makes no sense to me. They're the clients. It's their call. I've explained to them why it doesn't make sense, but his suspicion was that the kids were pressing them
for more money.
Yeah. And so now they've got this offer date and they're waiting. And I was like, oh, and that was when I discovered, I was like, have you had a lot of showing activity? And he goes, no, the 2 offers we got were the only 2 showings we've had.
So, and this is really similar to what happened to me, but on that example I was talking about, is because the offers almost came in too quick.
Yeah.
Like, we were on the market for 3 days. We didn't price particularly aggressively. Like, our pricing was very in line with the comps, but the offer came from the open house.
Right.
Like, the buyer came through the open house, literally left. His agent wrote the offer, had it to me by the end of the open house. And my clients, again, outside influences, were like, this is too soon. This is not enough money.
Yep. And then, I mean, the moral of the story with this house was they ended up waiting like 4 days, wiping the offer night out. By this point, my clients have looked at the numbers, decided they don't want to spend that much. They'd rather look at something cheaper, found a different house for $100,000 less that was around the corner, pretty much same specs, got it, and they did not get the same price my clients offered.
The age-old adage, that was really hard alliteration for me. The age-old adage.
Say it 5 times fast.
No, thank you. I will not be doing that. Not on a podcast. Is true. Like, I would say, I don't know, 90% of the time.
Like 90% of the time.
The first offer you get is the best offer.
Yep. And then that ties into something that happened like last week. I had a condo listing, and by some miracle, you remember this?
Yeah.
By some miracle, I get an offer. We're on the market for like 6 days.
Which is so insane, which I think we're going to talk about later, possibly in the stats section.
We sure will. We'll talk about some stats.
But is absolute. If you have a condo to sell, don't expect that to happen to you.
No.
This is like the stars aligned.
The stars aligned.
Happened.
We got an offer, and the offer was like, it was workable. We are going back and forth. Initially, the sellers said they didn't even want to counter. And I was like, no.
Also,
no.
like,
nope, we're countering.
To sellers, that's not an option. Even to me, like, even if you get the worst, most insulting offer you have ever seen, work with it. Yeah. You don't know what the other side is willing to do.
Because these days buyers are fishing.
They're fishing.
They will give you a
deal.
stupid they'll give you a stupid offer just because they want to fish out where you'll come back, like what you'll come back with.
And you don't know.
You might reveal to them in your first counter you're willing to come 50 grand below asking, and they wouldn't have known if they went in higher.
Yeah.
So always counter. We get them to counter. Anyways, we go back and forth.
Just don't let it die. Just never let it die.
And I get these buyers to the price of the comparable sale that sold 2 months prior. The condo market is not going up. It is going down. And, you know, we had like decent showing activity, but no one else was interested or was going to bring an offer. So this is the offer we have. We're going to work with it.
Yeah.
And the sellers wanted to walk away over like $3,500 because they said same thing. It's too soon. We haven't been on the market long enough, so we want to wait and see if we can get more money. No. And I was like, listen,
you won't.
It could be months before we get another offer, and that $3,500 gap
is your carrying costs.
Yeah, it's going to cost you double that in carrying costs before we get the next offer, and the next 100%. Offer probably won't get this high. Then I get them above the latest comp, and the sellers still were hesitant, but we ended up getting it done. And again, that was a similar situation. There was an outside party that had influence who was not on title, but
has no stake in it, no financial stake in it, but like is always, and there's always, and this is the case, and I get it, sorry to cut you off, but like I get it, you're making a huge purchase. This is arguably, I would hope, the largest purchase you're ever going to make in your life. You're talking to your friends, you're talking to your family, you're talking to coworkers, I don't know. And they're often people that we don't even know are are in their ear, which is fine. Like, you need that support system.
Yeah.
But they can really impact how buyers or sellers move forward in their transactions. And it's not based on anything other than they sold a house 10 years ago and had a different experience.
And that's the thing, like, take advice from talk to your support system, but you can't make decisions because of what other people told you.
No.
You are buying and selling because of a reason that you've decided is right for you.
Yes.
And so your uncle has no, like,
no.
Sure, maybe your uncle can be a soundboard, someone to talk to.
Totally.
But someone else can't be the deciding factor for you. And that is just to, like, tie it into the overall market. What happened at the peak was everyone was buying out of fear because everyone else was telling them, if you don't buy now, it's going to be more expensive. That inflated the market so much. And all of it was because people were listening to what others were saying.
Yeah. And I think that, like, the pendulum swing of that has the media, and then everybody has, like, a friend that bought in that peak and, like, kind of maybe overpaid, or, like, bought a house that they didn't love because it was their 7th house they were offering on, and they were just desperate to get a house. And they've told these stories to their friends or family or colleagues or whoever, and they've scared them. And now they're coming into this market, which is much more pliable and much more negotiable and realistic, but they're scared.
One other thing I've been seeing a lot of that I've been dealing with are obscenely long financing conditions. I've had...
You've probably had the worst financing condition experience I've, like, ever heard of, actually.
I think I've, like, the universe is doing something to my
And
to
I've
my
had
nerves.
a bad financing condition situation, and this is worse.
So I have had 3 condo listings in the last 2 months that have all experienced different but similar situations with long financing conditions, and part of this goes into the fact that this is actually possible for buyers.
Yeah. And I think that's actually the moral of the story you're going to tell.
Yes.
Is that buyers have gotten away with this every single time.
But there's 2 morals to the story. 1, buyers can get away with it, which they haven't been able to for a long time.
No.
And 2, don't be an asshole about it.
Don't be an asshole about it. Like,
yeah. So the first
don't
one,
abuse the system.
do not abuse the system, and be respectful. Like, our job is to communicate with the other side.
Yeah.
And with the first one that occurred, that really tested every ounce of patience that I possess in my body, was
I think you threw some things.
I sure did. Yeah. I was dealing with, we had a condo listing. It was a really difficult situation just all around. And we were on the market on and off for like 6 months because the pricing, like, nothing was moving in the building. We priced in line with comps at the time, but just nothing was moving, and prices around were dropping. So anyways, eventually we get an offer signed, and there's this issue with financing. Mind you, when the buyers bought, the agent was like, no, don't worry, like, this is my favorite when there's a financing condition, and they're like, no, but, like, don't worry, their financing is solid, like, they're already approved.
If you tell me not to worry, I am immediately worried.
Yeah, 100%.
FYI.
That's like saying don't press the button. I have to press the button now.
If you specifically bring something up and you're like, don't worry, it's going to be fine, I will obsessively worry about that specific part of the transaction until it's dealt with, because I now think something is horribly wrong and you're lying to cover it.
And so we have a 5 business day financing condition, which is super standard. We get to the last day. The agent calls me and says, so this really weird thing happened. The mortgage broker said the lender needs the status certificate to approve the mortgage. And I was like, okay, well, I've done, like, more condo transactions that I can count, and I've never once experienced that request.
No.
On either side. And he was like, I know, neither have I. It's so weird, but, like, that's what the mortgage broker says. Red flag number 1.
And, like, the screaming voice inside my head is like, did you ask the mortgage broker why?
No, why?
Of course not.
Why would they do that? That would be a silly question.
Of course not. Like,
At this point, the agent says to me that they're just blind, like, they're trusting the mortgage broker. They're trusting the process. So they say
No.
we just need to wait till we get the status certificate. We get the status certificate the next day. So now we have like 3 more days for financing or whatever. And again, day of. Now, the thing that bothered me with this particular situation was that the agent would put the conditional expiry time at 11:59 p.m. And I know we've talked about this before.
We have very... I personally think that there is actually a really useful time and place for 11:59. You hate 11:59.
I do, because I don't want to be bothered at 11:59. And the problem is, if you put 11:59
Which I get.
to give yourself the time just in case like you want, you need a little extra time to get paperwork signed, fine. In this case, the agent used it to wait until 11 o'clock to update me.
Which...
No.
As the proud user of 11:59, I would never, ever, ever, ever...
No.
Ever do.
And it
mainly
wasn't,
because I'm in bed. Like,
yeah.
I'm not, no.
Exactly. And it wasn't like, okay, I'm just waiting on an, they would just crickets all day. And then 9 p.m. my phone would ring.
But this also is another,
Anya. No.
That's another thing we've talked about. I think we talked about it on the last time I was here. Boundaries around time. I realize we don't work a 9-to-5 job, and I have no expectations around that.
That's fine.
But
that's fine. And again, like, calling at 9 is when we have an active deal.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. It's just, it's the fact that throughout the day there was no
communication.
Hey, it seems like things aren't working out, but like, give me until 9. I'll see if I can figure it out.
Yeah.
So now the new excuse number 2 is someone in the mortgage broker's family died. And so actually they just never submitted the application, and they lied last week when they said they needed the status.
So I have a question. How is all of this happening? Like,
it's a fantastic question.
There's been a death. I mean, I'm dissecting this too much, but like, somebody in the mortgage broker's family died, and you couldn't just say that. You had to lie about a status certificate. Like, it's all feeling very fantastical.
And why at this point is the buyer not going with a different mortgage broker? Why is the mortgage broker not passed it on to a colleague? I don't understand. They go, okay, so the mortgage broker submitted the application today. We just need 2 more business days. What do you think happened on the second business day?
Can I guess that there was an extension?
Phone rings 9 p.m.
Of course.
Hey, Anya, so we're actually waiting for this like approval to come through, but we haven't gotten it yet. But the lender's in BC, so don't worry, we have more time.
I like that you said that, because you knew I was going to be like, it's not coming through at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, they were like, it's in BC, so Anyways, the conversation I had, because at this point my clients are freaking out. They're nervous. They don't know what's going on. They feel like the buyers are yanking their chain.
Of course you would feel that way.
Yeah, because like, this is now, I think we extended 4 times.
No.
And the issue here, and this is where like the sellers and I really had to sit down and try to figure out the best path forward is, okay, well, we have no leverage. We don't have another option.
Yeah.
We need this deal to go through. Mm-hmm. So if they need another condition, or they need another day, they need another day. And we kind of, at the last point, we said, okay, this is really the final one. And I'd also like to just make a note that in order to kind of protect my clients from the notion of maybe they're, being jerked around, was at each extension, we would increase the deposit.
Which I think is actually such a huge deal, because one, good of you to think of that, to even do that. Because if you had asked that and they had said no, I would immediately definitely walk away. Yeah. And so the fact that they were willing to do it, to me, gives like a semblance of like, there is some other things that are messed up going on in the background. And this isn't maybe the buyer. This is probably a buyer who, to give them the benefit of the doubt, is maybe like caught in the middle of incompetencies on the agent and the mortgage agent's part.
Yes.
And then the buyer is like at the mercy of not actually really understanding how this should go.
Well, and then the flip side of that too was that the buyer was getting information that was spooking them. So essentially, like, as we know, being real estate professionals and all, you don't usually get your full mortgage approval during the financing condition. You're just getting the stamp of approval. Yep. So there were some conditions. There were some things that needed to be done. And like, they were so minor and did not need to happen during this period.
Right.
But someone freaked the buyer out about waiving their financing until all of that was done. And that was part of what continued the extensions. And it was really frustrating on our end, to the point that this agent held me hostage on the phone for like 20 minutes to explain to me how my least favorite thing that is said to me is, you and I.
Oh, no. I know what you're going to say.
You and I, we're on the same team. We're working towards the same goal. No. You and I are
we're on
collaborating
teams,
and cooperating, but we are representing opposite parties.
Yes.
We are not friends.
Just to pause on that, because my favorite thing that a fellow Bosley agent said to me very early on in my career was, we are called, like on the buy side in Ontario, you're called a cooperating agent.
Yep.
That is not what you're called everywhere in the country, but here you're called a cooperating agent. And I love it because the nature of what we do is to cooperate.
Yes.
Everyone forgets that.
Yeah.
No one remembers that.
It's not called friends agent.
No, but it's also not called we're on the same team.
No.
We are legally not on the same team. We are legally against each other.
We are working together to find a path forward that will make each of our respective clients
happy
or equally
satisfied.
Miserable.
Yeah.
Which is happening a lot these days.
Yeah. So, like, the lowest common bottom denominator. What is that phrase? Like the lowest
common denominator.
Yeah, the lowest common denominator.
Yeah. Everyone needs to walk away equally miserable or equally happy.
Yeah.
And that's just...
But they're going to walk away on the same page.
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
And that is our job, but to work together to do it. But like, we're not on this. I do like to say like we're working towards the same goal in the sense that we are trying to get this property sold.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But like... And we are working together, which everybody loves to forget, but we are not on the same team. I hate when agents love to talk to you about how much they hate their clients. And they act like we're in it together against our clients.
Mm-hmm. It's you and I against the world.
You know how clients can be. You know how they love to say that.
Yeah.
And I can't.
Do you know what an agent said to me on the phone yesterday?
Mm.
I'm on the listing side. Okay. They're on the buyer side. They go, I have 14 condo listings myself. So like, I get it. We have to make concessions because this market and blah, 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 blah. I was like, did not let me speak for 10 minutes.
Thanks for your resume.
And mind you, a respectful person, listened.
Yeah, just sat and let them
Now
talk.
it's my turn to speak.
Yeah.
How many words do you think I got out?
3.
Yeah, before I was interrupted. I tried again, interrupted again. Then I said, listen, man, I let you speak for 10 minutes, interrupted. Yeah. You have not let me get 3 words out. I think that I deserve the same courtesy I gave to you. So would you like to let me speak? Otherwise, I'm hanging up.
What did he say? Or they say?
Okay. Go ahead. Interrupted me again. I said, I'm done. You're either going to stop interrupting me or I'm done. And finally I spoke. They tried like 4 more times to interrupt me.
Of course.
And I was, mind you, all of this over, they didn't see my last text that said, don't worry, the seller has agreed to what the buyer wants. Mind you, what the buyer wanted was highly unreasonable. But we agreed because that's the market that we're in. And I had to listen to this 10-minute rant and then get interrupted and rage baited for 20 minutes because this agent didn't put together that we had agreed to what they wanted, which, again, was highly unreasonable.
I want a petition for there needs to be, when you get your real estate license or like when we have to do our like annual renewal courses, because I don't know if you know that, we have to do continuing education to continue to be licensed. There needs to be a course on communication.
Yes.
EQ. How to speak to other people, how to interact with other people, not just like negotiating, like literally how to talk to others.
And while we're on the topic of our rant session about communication, when the other side starts to either like threaten certain things or give you attitude, and I try to be cool as a cucumber. I'm pretty good at doing that. But once the flip switches, switch flips? Flip switch?
Switch flips.
Switch flips.
Switch flips. The switch
Wow.
flips. Yeah. I'm literally looking at the switch on the wall to envision if that's the right way to say it.
Once things go, they're gone. And I just think one can only take so much disrespect or attitude before reciprocating.
Yeah.
And I get 2 words out, and this has happened to me multiple times, where the agent on the other side goes, you should watch your tone and how you speak. You should also be careful what you say, because if you don't watch what you say, maybe this deal won't come together. Sorry.
Okay.
Would you like me to just lay down and you can just run me over?
And how do you think they would feel if you said that to them? Would that fly?
Of course not.
Like, but this is my thing is I understand we're here to negotiate. We're here to protect our clients' best interests. We're here to get the most money or the least money for our clients, depending on what side we're on. All of that stuff, that's great. But this is what I mean about communicating and understanding, like, you do catch more bees with honey. There is a way to manipulate the situation without assaulting the other person verbally. Like, yeah. I don't know. I don't understand the tactic. I don't understand the mentality. And like, there's a lot of agents out there, and I do love like an older agent who's used to doing business on the phone, because I will sit there and just listen and listen and listen, and they will tell me everything they're not supposed to tell me about their clients. And I will find out so much information.
I love a phone call.
I love a phone call. Love it. But when you want to do that just to like eviscerate me for no reason, and my client also, like, yeah. Where are we going with this? Like, what is the end goal? Like, you really think
there's no purpose of us sitting here having this conversation. We're both, and the way that I ended that conversation, I was like, listen, I didn't like how you spoke to me. You didn't like how I spoke to you. We are equally unhappy. There is no purpose in continuing this conversation, because we have already found a solution.
Yeah.
And that's it. We can agree to disagree.
Yeah. I had a lease deal actually come together because I specifically did not lose my shit on the...
And that's the thing. It's like, you have to keep it together.
Yeah.
And our clients don't know what we're dealing with on the other side. And sometimes you're dealing with the loveliest agent who is so sweet. And that makes the deal incredible. When you're dealing with someone good on the other side. But when you are dealing with someone that speaks to you this way, the level of self-control you need to possess for your client, like,
because that's okay. So that's what I was just going to say is, this is not about me. It's not my house. It's not my purchase. I'm not going to live there. I'm never going to, and most times I'm never going to talk to this agent ever again. Like, there are so many licensed realtors in Toronto. Very rarely do we end up doing repeat deals. And if we do, they're with like a select few.
Yes. And the select few are usually the good ones.
And they're usually great to deal with. That's why they're doing so many deals. But there's often agents, I'm never going to talk to them again. So like, let's just get to the finish line. And like that one lease deal, which I won't bore you with the story with, but long story short is that we couldn't come together on terms. The deal fell apart. The agent was awful about it. And I wanted to rip him a new one, because he like violated so many things. And I was so frustrated and so angry.
Yeah.
We walked away. The next day, my client said, I actually want to come up to their price. So I had to go back
and grovel
essentially and say, I'm bringing a new offer. We are willing to meet your terms because my client has changed his mind. If I had ripped him apart the day before, I probably would have lost that property for my client.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And like, those are the things where we do hold the keys in a lot of ways of like, during this negotiation process, we can sort of make or break a deal.
And that kind of ties into the other thing we wanted to talk about as we exit our very long rage session is the many roles of a realtor. And one of them that is kind of what we've been talking about the last however many minutes is the protector. I think that's one that a lot of people, there's the kind of classic ones that
the
people talk about. The therapist, the whatever. But the protector, I think, is one that we don't really talk about.
I like that phrasing. Did you make that up?
I sure did.
Oh, I like it. You should write that down. Coin that.
Someone write it down. Yeah, so the protector, as much as I would love to turn around to my client and be like, man, I wish, like, you know what this agent just said to me? I'm dealing with the biggest asshole on the other side. Yep. They're saying this and that to me. And like, oh my God, they said this about you. Like, as much as I would love to turn around and tell them everything, that's not going to accomplish anything.
It's not helpful.
They don't need to get riled up because the person I'm dealing with on the other side is either disrespectful, doesn't know how to do their job. They don't need to know. They don't need to know any of it.
They don't.
That is not their job to know. And
they're stressed enough.
They're stressed enough. They don't need to be stressed about
No.
who I'm dealing with. So
that's the stress that our job is to take that on.
We must metabolize.
Yeah.
And so I take the 15 minutes of whatever attitude I get from this one agent. I need to pull one nugget out that must be passed on to my client.
Yeah.
I pass it on to my client. And that is a big part of what we do, is we have to protect our clients from outside influence, outside emotions, because they're dealing with enough on their own.
I would say it's arguably one of the most important and most difficult.
Absolutely.
Because when you get emotionally charged because the agent is making your job very difficult, and then you need to sort of sit down, sit back, take a minute before you make that phone call to your client and sort of go through that conversation and think about what nuggets need to be pulled out to effectively communicate to your client what's going on so they know what's happening without making the situation worse is very difficult.
Yeah. And like with that situation that we talked about before where I got so angry, I forgot to mention I whipped my phone across my living room. I was so mad and so riled up.
Love to rage throw things.
I never do that. And I obviously now had to communicate to my clients that we needed another financing extension, but I was not in a state to do that.
No.
So I took a walk.
Yeah.
I walked around the block.
Yeah.
I cooled down. I called my clients and I was able to effectively communicate to them what needed to be communicated.
Yeah.
And there's a phrase that that we talk about at our brokerage a lot, which is not getting in the boat.
It's a big Bosleyism.
Big Bosleyism. Don't get in the boat with the clients, because once you're in the boat,
it's over.
It's over. The situation can get derailed because
the boat's going to sink if you're in the boat.
The boat's going to sink. It is above maximum capacity.
There are too many people in the boat.
Yes.
It's going to sink.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you have to be able to be objective, because ultimately the goal is to protect the client. And as soon as you get emotionally invested or emotionally influenced, or you get in the boat, you kind of lose sight of that. And now you aren't there to emotionally regulate your client.
No, because that's 100% of what we do. Like it very, very rare situations is a client emotionally regulated. I think I've only had it happen 3 times, maybe. It's super rare. And even when I love a client that says, oh, I don't care, I'm not emotionally invested in this. Like they go in and they're like a numbers person. It's often an engineer.
Those are always the ones that get the most emotionally invested.
Emotionally invested, always. And they will hide it, or they think they're hiding it. Obviously. But you will very immediately be like, and
you look at them and they're like twitching.
Well, because a lot of, I find people, clients, whatever, love to forget that anger is an emotion. And they think that because...
Wait, it is.
Just came out, recent studies, anger is an emotion.
News to me.
Now you know. They love to forget that. And they think that like getting mad because they're not getting their way is them not getting emotional. Newsflash.
That is being emotional.
You're being emotional. And that's okay.
You should be. Okay. You should be. Absolutely allowed to be
I'd actually
emotional.
probably be a little bit worried if you weren't emotional about this. I think the only people that aren't emotional are like maybe investors, or like...
I've even seen investors get emotional.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I have too.
It's hard.
It's hard. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money either way.
And it's a big up. It's a very like up and down battle.
Yep.
Okay. What are some other roles?
I like the
other
protector. I mean, the therapist, which I mentioned, is like a whole thing. It's 100% of what we do to varying capacities. Like I've had clients going through separations, divorces.
Yeah.
They're calling me having breakdowns at 10 o'clock at night. They're freaking out. They're sending messages that like don't make sense because they're like spiraling.
Yep. The spiral.
You know, we've got clients who are like making their first purchase. They don't know what's going on. They're freaking out. They maybe don't have the support system that we talked about earlier. So they don't have close friends or family that have been through this before that can offer them that like sounding board, and they tend to turn to us to be like, what do you like? A lot of the times we'll get, which this to me is getting in the boat, and I really don't like to do this. Like I will dance around it with my clients, is when they genuinely want our opinions. Is this a good house for me? Would you buy this house? Would you live in this house? Would you pay this price for this house?
Least favorite question.
No.
As a client, you can ask me anything.
Yeah.
Do not ask me if I would live here.
Don't ask me that ever. I won't answer it if you do. I've never answered that question truthfully.
No. And I had a client once who was a lawyer who pressed me to answer the question.
Yeah.
And their mom was there. And the mom was like, buddy,
It's not her house.
she doesn't want to live here. But it doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter.
Stop asking her.
That's the other thing. Like a lot of our jobs too is being objective. Like I don't like this house because I wouldn't live here.
Yeah.
But based on how well I've gotten to know you and your needs and what you're looking for, I think this is the perfect house for you.
Yeah.
But I also,
Would I live in a studio condo? No.
no.
But if my client's looking for a studio condo, I'm not going to be like, well, I actually prefer a house in Leslieville, so maybe just buy one of those instead. Like it's not my house. It doesn't matter. My opinion does not matter.
No, and I think like to talk about roles of an agent is to be objective.
Yep.
Like what I think a house is worth and what my client is willing to pay don't always line up, and that's also 100% okay. And I will very, very rarely offer an opinion of value that is specific. I will always offer a range. And generally the top end of that range has to do with appraisal.
Yep.
Not necessarily my opinion of what I would, well, never. It's never my opinion of what I would pay for the house.
Yeah.
It has to do, it's a very specific number based on what I think is appraisal, maybe what's even in an MPAC report, like what I'm seeing on comps, whatever. And if my client is like, I want to pay $10,000 more than that while understanding the implications, okay.
Yep, totally.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Go for it. Like, I've given you the information. I'm telling you this is the range.
And do with that what you will.
And if you are in competition and you have money to throw at this and you love this house and this is your forever home and like whatever, and you want to go above that, I'm not going to tell you no. It is not my job to do that.
Another big role that we play, I like to call the chameleon,
Yes.
where we have to be able to adapt our style, or at least I believe a good realtor should be able to adapt their style of work and communication to the client.
This is sales 101.
This is sales 101. And like if the client I had a listing appointment yesterday and I kind of talked to them about this because they were saying when they purchased their condo 5 years ago, their agent like didn't really do anything, didn't really communicate with them. So they were like, we'd want you to treat us like first time buyers because we actually don't know anything.
Another really affectionate way of like referring to being the chameleon is called style stepping. And like the concept of exactly what you're saying, like, but you can only style step to your client's needs if you understand them.
Yep.
And I think that's something that a lot of agents who don't, a lot of agents get into real estate, they don't have a sales background. They come from like a corporate world or a legal world or accounting or, I don't know, entrepreneurialness, something. Sure. And they don't have an understanding of like, it's not about, when I say sales, it's not just about like pushing your client into buying something.
No, not at all. It's about relationship
building and understanding first and foremost. And like, you cannot style step to your client's needs if you don't do the groundwork to understand who they are and what makes them tick and what they want, and asking a lot of discovery questions about them, their life, what they're wanting to purchase or why are they selling, and understanding it. Like I think a lot of agents come into particularly listings and they're like, great, I'll list your house. It's worth 1.2 million.
Yeah.
And they don't take the time to understand, why is the client selling? What is motivating them?
What do they need?
What do they need? Like,
what are their greatest fears?
Yeah. What are they scared about the process? What are they comfortable with the process? Like all of these things that will like essentially inform your listing plan, and then how to communicate with your client. Like I personally I love to send an email. I love to get on the phone. I like to actually communicate with my clients on the phone as much as I can. But if that's not my client's preferred form of communication, I'm not going to call them every day.
No.
If they want to text, I will say, how do you want these stats wrapped up for you? Or how do you want to know how the showings go? And they're like, I don't have time. Like, I'm got a crazy job. I'm really busy. I'm a doctor. whatever.
Yep. There are some clients that want an update after every showing. There are some clients that actually don't care.
That don't care. They want, and I'll send a weekly recap just because whether you're going to read it or not, I'm going to send you the information. But sometimes they want it daily. They want it after every showing. They want whatever. And like, it's my job to understand how receiving information is important to you.
Yep.
And sometimes it won't always work. Like if you really want me to call you after every showing, I'm not going to do that. That's insane. Like I can promise you, you don't actually want that.
And
But then,
also what I think some sellers don't understand is getting feedback from other agents is impossible.
Impossible.
And so most of the time I actually have nothing to report back because the agent does not respond to calls or texts or emails.
Yeah. And I will also say there's a really well-known story about an agent providing feedback that came back and bit them very hardly, and they ended up getting sued over it. The agent essentially provided feedback without their buyer's permission on the property.
Oh.
So this is, I think, we're probably going to end up being a little long-winded about this, but this is a really good point about what sellers kind of don't understand is that to provide feedback, I have to have permission from my buyer to share their insights on the property. So in order to do, and a lot of buyers don't want you to do that. They don't want you to share like, oh, I hated the staging. I don't know, like whatever.
Yep.
So agents will often hold back and just say nothing because in that story, I can't remember the exact details, but basically the agent shared their buyer's feedback, said something negative about the home without the buyer's permission. The buyer turned around, decided they wanted to make an offer. The sellers were pissed because they had received negative feedback from this particular buyer. They negotiated really, really, really hard. Something happened. I'm missing like a piece of the story, but ultimately either they lost out on the house or they like overpaid. Something happened, and the buyer found out that this was all because the agent had offered feedback against the buyer's wishes, and it had soured the deal.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I did not know this story.
Yeah, I need to find it and I'll look it up for you. But so,
Okay.
And that is a very real legal ramification. You cannot share things about your buyers that they do not want you to share.
Yeah. I'll usually, I mean, and also the other thing is sometimes buyers need to simmer for a bit.
100% they do.
So
100%.
I might not have feedback. And that's why I usually wait till the next day to call. And by that point, I, as a buyer's agent, will have reached out to my clients and be like, hey, what are your thoughts? I'm probably going to start getting calls for feedback. So like, what do you
want me to
thinking?
share?
What do you want me to,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
The point is that yes, like a lot of sellers do really want constant communication. And it's not to say that style stepping means that I'm going to give you that constant communication, but I'm going to be able to talk to you about what an appropriate way for me to provide this information that I'm receiving is. You really have to meet these clients at their level.
And I also like to ask, especially when there's a client who has previously worked with a realtor, whether it was on their purchase and now they're not using it
I know what you're going to say, and I love this question.
Yes. What is it that you, like, where did you feel there was a gap between, you know, what you needed and what your last realtor provided
Essentially,
you?
why are you not working with that realtor
Sometimes
again?
I'll ask. I'll ask straight up.
I will always ask, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
because-
in a various forms.
Yeah, and there are a variety of different reasons. Sometimes it's they didn't feel they had enough expertise. Sometimes they felt that they were pushing them in a certain direction. And that helps me gauge how to, and I'll even say to them, like, part of why I'm asking is because this is going to help me know how to help you.
I will honestly say that is 100% of why I'm asking.
That is,
like, I'm also kind of curious, like,
of course,
where did they fall short?
Yeah.
But it is so that I can meet you where you are.
And that
you
don't
can feel
do the same things.
Yes. And you can feel seen and heard. Like, there is a ton of money at stake here. It is not my job to ignore you. It is my job to meet you where you are and help guide you through this process and make you feel supported in a way that is meaningful to you. Not that a way that is meaningful to me.
No.
Like, it is not
how
about
we
me.
feel actually does not matter.
It does not matter at all.
It is completely irrelevant.
Yep.
The only party that matters is the client. Full stop.
Full stop.
To wrap up this section, final role is I suppose we can call them the analyst.
Yeah.
A lot of it is, you know, being able to understand market stats, being able to digest it. Yeah, data, being able to digest data, pull the right data to be able to tell a story that is relevant to our client for whatever purpose, whether it's a listing or it's a buyer. We're trying to explain to the buyer what's happening in a certain market, or to the seller, like whatever kind of stats we're trying to explain, we need to be able to understand all the data we're looking at and be able to pick and choose what is relevant.
You need to know
client.
where to get it from. You have to know what you're looking at. The data can be really great because it can get super specific, but you have to understand the specifics.
And
And
then, you can't just look at it and be like, those are numbers.
It's up 3%. I just saw 3%. And like,
Yeah, you need to be
know if
able
you're
to
looking at the right line.
Exactly. You need to really be able to understand. And the biggest thing too is that Toronto is not the kind of marketplace that just stats for the GTA are relevant. Like, you really need to dive into each section, and that's something that you have to understand.
You have to really drill down.
Yeah, I'm not going to call my client and be like, hey, so the real estate market for the greater Toronto area is up 2%. Like, that's not relevant to you.
Also,
unless
what
you're
does that
curious.
mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? What does it mean? What do all these stats mean? What do they indicate? Like, that's something that we need to be able to
100%
actually explain.
And then also, I mean, I think to piggyback on that is to take it and filter it in a way that is easily digestible for somebody who is not a numbers person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've had a lot of clients that are creatives or like working, I don't know, in
the arts.
The arts of some kind, or like they're doctors or they're whatever, and they're not looking at numbers every single day. I've had clients that are on the other side that have literally explained the data to me.
And that kind of ties into the chameleon, understanding who the client is
Yep.
and what kind of data. Like, is this client the type that wants an Excel spreadsheet with all the numbers that they can look at and play around with?
Yes.
Or is this the type of client that they would like a 2-minute phone call that includes no numbers, only vibes?
Yeah. And there is everybody in between that. And I have absolutely had all of those clients. And you have to understand where they fall on that spectrum, because it's a big spectrum. Because if you send somebody who wants vibes a detailed Excel spreadsheet of a market analysis, they will panic. They will not read it.
Know what. Yeah, they will open
delete
it.
The email.
They will delete. They'll throw their computer out the window.
They will
probably.
And then they will be like stressed that that's how you chose to present information to them.
Exactly.
But on the other side, like, I had a client that's an actuary.
Yes.
If I had called him with vibes, he would have fired me. And I would have respected that choice.
Yeah, that's
because
fair.
You know, he would have thought I had absolutely no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah. If you like what you're seeing so far, don't forget to hit subscribe and check out my other socials. So, on the topic of stats and numbers, should we break down what's going on?
Clearly, you and I are both really into stats and data.
We're going to toss some numbers. I'm going to toss some numbers at you, and then maybe we can kind of digest them.
I have fully not had exposure to any of these numbers.
Fantastic. These are October numbers. So this is the Toronto market as of October, and specifically 416, not 905. So just because Toronto itself.
That's the only relevant
to us
data.
Okay, so detached houses.
Okay.
Average price as of October 2025 is $1.62 million, down 9% year over year, and 4% month over month. Detached homes.
Okay.
Average price of a semi, $1.22 million.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
I would have guessed 1, 2.
Yeah, down 7.3% year over year, up 3.2% month over month.
Interesting.
Now, this actually doesn't surprise me because I've had some clients looking at semis lately, and it's been pretty wild.
You and I have been saying to each other since August that the semi market under 1.5. Yeah, 1.5. I would even say under 1.3, 1.4.
Well, it's the insured mortgage bracket.
It's the insured mortgage bracket. Is by far the most competitive. It's that 1 to 1.5 sliver that is doing extremely well. If you own one of those, consider it's a good time to sell. If you're buying one, it's competitive.
It's competitive. Just be prepared for that.
Be prepared.
4-row/townhouses. Average price is 1.12. A lot of twos today. 1.12 million, down 10% year over year, down 4.5% month over month.
That also doesn't surprise me because, again, I think all of those buyers from last year or even like the spring, let's say, that thought they could only get into a town in a row are now actually getting into semis because what's that, $100,000?
It's $100.
Yeah.
It's actually less than $100,000
okay,
spread.
so let's call it a $90,000 spread.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, a semi or a row? You're going to go with a semi.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Especially if you can get, like, this is nuanced, but if you can get a wider semi or if you get a semi on a corner or like it's one thing to get a row on the end.
Yeah, which is practically
a semi,
but still statistically a row.
But still statistically a row, which is unfortunate that this data doesn't get that nuanced. But like, if you're looking at, let's call it traditional, a row that's like right in the middle of the row, it's attached on both sides, it's probably very skinny. You're looking at maybe 14 feet, give or take. Or you're looking at a semi that's a very traditional semi that's maybe like 16 to even 18 feet with a side yard, et cetera, et cetera. And you're looking at 100,000 or less spread. What are you going to do if it's within your means?
Yeah, but if they have the same frontage, I would go with the row because the row will be a wider house. Like if the frontage is narrow,
100%,
the row will be a wider house.
I should stipulate that I'm talking about lot lines and that.
Yeah, for sure.
About the house itself, not the lot line, because that is also my favorite fun fact about detached and versus semis that people often do not understand.
Yes,
is that often you will get a wider semi than you will get a detached because
if it's on the same size lot.
If it's on the same size lot. So if you've got like, let's call it a 20-foot lot for like easy numbers. If you have a 20-foot lot and you've got a detached home sitting inside that, because it is not going to go to your lot line, that house is going to be about 16 feet, let's call it. So you've got 2 feet on either side. But if you've got a 20-foot lot and a semi, it's going to a zero lot line on the attached side, and then it's going out, say, 2 feet on the detached side. So you're getting 2 feet of interior space in a semi, which is why semis, again, I think are up because there's some really wide semis out there that are really good. Like, love it. I love a semi. Semis are great.
Semis are great.
I think there's this weird misconception that like the like crowning jewel of real estate is a detached house.
Well,
and in some cases it is.
In some cases it is. And I think the biggest downside with the semi is you share a wall. And
For
many old houses you can hear through the wall.
I've lived in semis where like I know what time every day my neighbor got up.
Yeah.
It's definitely a thing.
But
it's not always
you
the
win
case.
some, you lose some.
Yeah, and not all semis are like that.
Not all semis are like that. Now, condos. Average price, do you want to guess?
$675.
$699.
Ooh, okay, close.
Year over year.
Yeah.
Only down 3%.
We were crashing out this time last year, though.
We were up 2.7% month over month.
Them buyers.
Yeah.
So I think that's a combination of buyers coming out of the woodwork and getting a little bit more confident and sellers getting realistic. I think we're coming closer together in terms of buyer and seller expectation, where last year we were absolutely not close.
Nope. Just to top off with a couple more stats. Now, these are overall market, so not specific product type.
Okay.
New listings, October, just under 6,000. 6,000 new listings.
In Toronto alone.
Up 0.5% year over year, but down 16.6% month over month. I'm seeing this. This month has felt very slow for new inventory, especially good inventory. A lot of it has felt like relists.
Yeah. So we actually coincidentally talked about this at the office the other day, where I said that the window of this fall market has been
so tiny.
This is the shortest fall market I think we have.
It's also felt like a weird fall weather-wise. Like it was summer until mid-October, and then it was fall for 2 weeks, and then it snowed last week.
Yeah. So it's like, what's happening? I keep thinking it's November already.
It is.
December already. Newsflash! We are in November.
Okay. Number of sales. 2,351 sales in October. Down 6.3% year over year. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Up 14% month over month. So new listings are down 16.6% month over month, but sales are up 14%.
That's a crazy stat.
And I will say personally, October was much busier for me than September.
Yeah, it wasn't for me, but that's for other reasons.
You got married.
I took time off. But like everything that I saw reflected that.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I've definitely noticed it. And I've been seeing more listings that have been sitting for a while moving, and B, more listings getting bully offers. Listings that are properties that are underlisted, more getting bully offers, more getting multiple offers. The other thing I've found in like talking to other agents as well is that this fall, the West End is far busier than the East End.
It's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that there's any particular reason for that. I think that the East End had its busy time in other, like,
I found the East End to be busier in the summer. Like
Yep.
I was very busy in the East
you had a
End,
couple.
like July, August,
Yeah.
spilling into September.
But also at that time, the inventory was not great. There was very little inventory.
And they were flying. Like things were coming on the market and coming off the market very, very quickly, particularly in that semi segment, particularly in the uninsured mortgage.
Do we expect any changes in the market soon?
I personally think condos are going to stay where they are.
Yeah, I don't think the condo market will see a massive change in any direction. I think it's probably going to continue being not the best market for sellers and great for buyers for a while.
I'm not convinced it's going to get much worse. I think we're kind of touching the bottom right now. I mean, granted, we're going into like the worst season of buying, so like it's
but if
probably gonna get lower.
if we're talking like seasonally adjusted,
yeah, seasonally adjusted. Outside of that, I don't know that we're going to see like a lot more tanking, but I don't see recovery in our near future either.
Yeah, like we're not sitting here and saying as a buyer you must buy a condo tomorrow, because I had a client who reached out to, before we had become acquainted, reached out to the listing agent of a property on realtor.ca who told her that she should come see the condo quickly because the rates are changing. Like this was before they did the October rate reduction. And was saying that the market will be flooded with buyers. And the client told me that, and I actually laughed out loud.
Yeah. I would say
I seem stoic now, but I laughed out loud.
But you laughed at because it's hilarious. That is hilarious.
And I straight up said to her, I was like, listen, I am seeing condos getting offers more quicker than I did before, but some of those offers aren't going anywhere. And I sure wouldn't sit here and tell you that you need to buy tomorrow. Otherwise, you're going to miss out.
No. And I will also say, like, that mentality, like a rate reduction is coming, everything's going to get flooded. It's been about, that did happen, but it's been like a year since that's happened. It's been quite some time where rate reductions were happening, and then we would see in the following week or two that like stuff would start moving. That is not the case. This rate reduction happened, I almost forgot about it. Like nothing changed. Nothing changed.
Just rates.
But like I didn't have a single buyer be like, okay, well now that we got that quarter point reduction, like,
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like people were just like, okay.
I feel like that's just, it's just how it is now.
Yeah. It didn't do anything to the market. I didn't experience it doing anything to the market.
And final question on the topic of stats is one thing I'm very passionate about. Why is the winter a really good time to buy?
I'm also so passionate about this. It's a great time to lease. It's a great time to buy. It's a great time to move.
Because no one wants to move in the winter.
Two reasons. No one wants to move in the winter. People are like, the holidays are gearing up. I'm too busy. I don't want to think about it. You'll get a lot of buyers that are like, I want to put my search on pause. Like it's too much. But anyone who is selling right now, well, not quite yet, but like end of November into December, is because they have to.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to be selling at Christmas either.
No. So no one wants to be selling, or people like no one really wants to be transacting around the holidays.
Nope.
You just want to like burrow into your house and under a blanket, not worry about doing anything. But also, there's like so much opportunity.
There's so much opportunity.
The world is your oyster.
The world is your oyster. And like there will be good properties out there that are sitting that maybe have been overlooked because maybe they're priced a bit too high. The sellers are getting scared. They start to get a bit more realistic because we are going into Christmas and they don't have any activity or whatever it may be. It is a phenomenal. I personally, the winter and the dead of summer, best times.
Yeah.
Best times.
Totally.
You'll get a great deal. Prices will be a little bit lower.
It's really just going against the flow.
Everyone,
like fall and spring are the busy times.
Yeah.
So go against it. And while the downside is there's less inventory.
Sure.
Usually there's also fewer buyers.
But there 100%. And like, I don't think less inventory is a bad thing. It has a bit of a negative stigma. Like, oh, there's less inventory, but there's still, it doesn't mean there's bad inventory.
Yeah. And if there's no good inventory for you, then you just wait for something to come up. 100%. Or you find it.
And less doesn't mean equal bad. It doesn't mean because there's less coming out that everything that's coming out is bad inventory.
Exactly.
Still get great houses at low inventory times.
Sure do. We've implemented a new segment that is going to happen in every episode. Some Toronto fun facts.
I came prepared.
So hit me with some fun facts.
Because, my husband got me this like really adorable little book called 50 Toronto Hidden Gems and Curiosities.
Okay, so you've bookmarked a couple.
We've bookmarked a couple.
I can't wait.
The first one, the Cube House.
I know exactly where that is.
And its description is one of Toronto's strangest homes was built at the edge of a parking lot on Sumac Street, tucked into a small triangle of land between Eastern and curving the concrete ramp of Adelaide.
Yeah, so when you're either going, like if you're coming off of the DVP onto Richmond, which you won't be able to do for approximately 6 months at minimum.
Yeah, for some undisclosed amount of time.
In the previous hours, or when you go over the Eastern or Adelaide Bridge, there is this like wonky green cube looking house.
With like
weird skylight things
on the corners. Yeah. And like it sort of pokes up on the overpass.
You'll know it.
You'll know it. If you drive anywhere over that side of the city, you've absolutely seen it before. So do you know anything about the Cube House?
No.
It was put up in a nondescript piece of land in 1996, which feels like it tracks to me because it looks very 90s.
Yeah.
Designed by Ottawa architect Ben Kuttner and his partner Jeff Brown. His idea was to take the basic box shape of a traditional home and twist it 45 degrees, allowing for more efficient use of interior space.
Okay.
Which seems odd because I don't know how you would efficiently use slanted walls like that. But anyway, I would love to see the inside of this house. I've never seen maybe I should get on Google and see, but I've never seen the inside of this house or any images of it.
Does anyone live there?
The Cube House was built as a prototype, but the full project was never completed. So I guess that means no.
So let's just muse. Like, do we think that there is an interior to this house, or do we think they just built the shell?
Box? I'm going to guess it's the shell on the inside.
That's insane. It just doesn't make sense to me with like the land scarcity we have in Toronto that they would leave a shell of a house on a lot without doing anything
for
further.
30 years.
Yeah.
It's been sitting there.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
But like, I don't see how it's not a shell based on this. Like it was built as a prototype.
Oh my God, it's giving Arrested Development. The model home.
It's the model home.
It's the model home.
Maybe he's living in the attic of this. Maybe the developers have been living in the attic the entire time and that's why. But you know what?
An escaped convict living in the
An escaped convict living in the roof. It's exactly what this is. So it says, mired by legal battles for years, the property is now targeted for redevelopment. So there's your land scarcity thing. The fate of the cubes, whether they're moved elsewhere or demolished, hangs in the balance. Also, this little article was written by Adam Bunch. Shout out Adam Bunch. He's written 2 really incredible Toronto history books. Okay, the next one. The tiniest house in Toronto.
Okay.
Do you want to guess where it is?
Isn't it like Caledonia and like Eglinton-ish?
You're not like far off. You're not far off. It's Dufferin and Rogers.
Okay, practically the same thing.
You're like 3 blocks away.
You know, it's over there.
I think is such a weird place for the tiniest
house. It is because
house.
that is not an area where there are many tiny homes. Those are mostly like
they're like regular homes there.
Yeah, your average
size
semi or detached little bungalow.
So it is barely wider than the average SUV.
So that's what, like 7 feet, 8 feet? No, an SUV must be smaller than that.
It is 2.4 meters wide.
7 feet.
That's messed up. 7 feet wide. The builder was a carpenter and shoemaker, Arthur Whedon. Lived there with his wife for more than 30 years until the late 1940s. It was built in 1912.
Okay.
You probably can't see it on here, but it's extremely teeny tiny.
Is it detached or is it attached?
So we could definitely look this up on Geo, but in this image, it's detached on one side and it is attached on the other side. But I think because I'm guessing the other house was built after and it's attached by like flashing. So I would think that this is considered a detached home, like legally speaking.
Okay.
In 1962, the property was listed for sale for $4,300. I'm not going to lie, that actually kind of seems expensive for the 60s, $4,300. Like more than I would have thought. I don't know. The advertisement doesn't mention a bathroom, suggesting it was once outside.
Oh, beautiful.
The little house was renovated in 2007. A decorative gable, which you can see in here, which is like a very cute fake little gable, was added to the roof, giving the impression of a second story. The interior was altered to maximize space. The bedroom got a fold-out bed, and the washer and dryer were stacked. I can't believe it took them till 2007 to do that.
Do we think they added a bathroom in that time?
I would certainly hope so.
Okay.
for whoever lives there and their neighbors' sake. Even the floorboards were rotated to run horizontally, making the space appear wider.
Oh,
in January 2008, it reached the peak of fame with an appearance on the Ellen DeGeneres show.
Oh.
And the owners don't appear to welcome internet snoopers because it is blurred on Google Street View.
Yes, I do recall hearing about this.
And then one other fun fact, which is, I want to share
your
this.
favorite
It's
fact
my
of the entire
favorite fact in the city. Because it's my favorite fact because I thought everyone in the West End knew this, and then come to find out that I share this fact all the time and people have never heard it before, and I think that's absolutely insane. And it's the title, like it's the title sequence of the book, is that the Crawford Street Bridge is a bridge, which it doesn't seem like a bridge.
You mean Crawford Street that is just a street is
Yes.
a bridge?
So, okay, listen. You're pretending to be surprised, but you didn't know this at one point. You grew up in that neighborhood.
I did not know this until Megan told me.
So the stretch of Crawford Street, if you were driving north.
Well, it's one way, so.
It's only one way, yeah. So if you're driving north on Crawford Street from Queen and you hit Trinity Bellwoods Park at the top of Crawford before you hit Dundas, there's a very little stretch of Crawford where you drive directly through Bellwoods Park.
Yep. Like no houses on either side.
There's no houses on either side. It's Bellwoods on both sides. That strip that you're driving on is a buried bridge.
But the street itself is the road of the bridge.
It's the road of the bridge.
And just the gaps are
filled in.
And Megan, tell me, what are they filled with?
They're filled in with the dirt from the subway.
Okay, so I need to tell you something that's going to blow your mind.
I can't wait.
Of excitement.
I'm so excited.
We were talking about the islands, and someone said,
Yeah.
I thought the islands were built because of the dirt from the subway.
They
and
were
I
not.
responded with your fun fact.
Oh!
Saying, in fact, the dirt from the subway filled what is now the buried Crawford Street Bridge.
Indeed. Do you know?
No, I used it.
Yeah, it's a great because
It had a practical use.
It's a practical use because the dog bowl is there, and it like created the dog bowl. It used to be a ravine in Garrison Creek, which if you ever spend any time walking around the West End,
you should totally do the Discovery Walk. If
you
you've
should
never
totally
done it.
do the Discovery Walk if you've never done it. But even if you're just like wandering around, there's plaques on the ground that say Garrison Creek, and it's a real creek that ran through that part of the city, and it ran through the ravine of Bellwoods, and that's why the bridge was there. And it's a beautiful bridge. Like if you Google images of it, it's like a really gorgeous and huge, very long bridge.
Crazy. Insane.
And they just took down the barricades. Like these are obviously not there anymore, but the bridge is existing under all of this dirt.
Subway dirt is in Trinity Bellwoods Park.
Not all of it, because it's got to be other places. But
yeah, where do you think they put the dirt from the Eglinton line? That's never gonna.
Is the Eglinton line even built? Who knows? Has anyone been down
Do we
there?
think it actually exists?
No.
Or is it a figment
just
of
had
our
its
imagination?
quinceañera.
It sure did.
It's an imaginary subway line that's never going to open. Somebody in the comments on that quinceañera video said that they've birthed children who are graduating high school now since the subway started.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Which is terrifying to think about.
I don't think you graduate at 15 unless
No,
you're
but like
genius,
they're probably going into next year to graduate maybe. Either way.
Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's
scary.
been forever. It feels like it's never going to open.
No, because maybe it's not real. I think they've been hiding it this whole time.
I think so as well. Yeah.
Or they're doing like rituals down there. I don't know. Something's going on.
Okay. Well,
thanks for having me.
thank you for coming
I'm
back.
happy to
and
come back and
sharing
just do fun facts.
teeny
segments.
tiny book of facts. And
You're welcome.
I cannot wait to hear more.
Good. I will probably hold you hostage several more times
That's fair.
with fun facts
I'll allow that.
as I make my way through this book.